All right, so once you have your center done, then it's time to start on our inner borders. Whenever you're ready, let's do it. Hey everyone, Cristin here, and we finished up our center blocks actually this morning. So now I'm going to move on to the inner borders. Whenever you're ready, join in. So we've got the center blocks all done and all 4 blocks and sewn together. And so it's time to do the inner borders next. So the inner borders, small little packet, shouldn't take us too long at all. There's a couple things on this though I want to point out to you. So they are on page 40. Let me turn to page 40 so I have all my little notes. All right, so a couple of things. In the book, I mentioned this in the prep video. In the book, it says to cut A and B, 2 of each, 2 of strip A and 2 of strip B. The B is longer, but they have them at, 1 3/4 by 10.5 for A, and 1 3/4 by 13. And I cut mine larger. I recommended that in the prep video. I like to cut it longer, and then at assembly I cut it down. I find that that's very helpful. So I would cut them. What did I do? I think I did 12 and 15. So if I recall, 1 3/4 by 12 for A and 1 3/4 by 15 for B. All right, and just anything longer, just to make sure you've got a little bit of wiggle room, that's all. So, and all that information is on the prep video. I did back mine with Fusible stabilizer. Also, I want to point out these are directional fabric. All right, so I mentioned in the prep video as well, the prepping fabrics video, that if you lay it out the way that they show in the book, then you're laying it out like lengthwise this way so that the stripes are all horizontal, and then you cut, and then you'll have it going the right way. Sorry, I just kicked my light. All right, oops, and my book is falling apart. All right, so like I said, A 1 3/4 by 12 and B 1 3/4 by 15. Yeah, 15 is what I did mine. All right, and anything just longer will be helpful. All right, but then for our batting, we want to cut them exactly to the size that we need, and the reason is because I'm going to attach them onto the borders before I start stitching. And you've probably seen me do this a billion times, but I'm going to walk you through it anyway. But so for the batting, it's really important to get it the exact right size. In fact, when you're putting it on, I use a glue stick. You can use the adhesive spray if you like the adhesive spray. I'm personally not a fan. I just think it's messy. And the purple glue stick is just so easy. You can see it going on, and it dries super fast. It's purple so that you can see it. So I will add a link here. I think it goes here. Maybe it goes over here actually. For the glue sticks that I buy, they're the jumbo ones so that they last longer. And they come quickly from Amazon. So on our batting, we want to have our batting the exact size, and it is 1 1/4. 1.25, 1 1/4 by 10 inches. By 10, that's for the A, 2 of them at 1 1/4 by 10, and then the longer 2 strips at 1 1/4 by 12.5, 1 1/4 by 12.5. All right, that's for the B strip. So those are the exact size, and I will show you in photos that I'm going to attach it right onto our batting strips. And then when we do that, we get to bypass the first 2 steps of the quilting process. All right, and I'll go over all of that with photos, don't worry. Now, on the quilting, there's several different sizes so that there's something for everybody. Depending on your hoop size, there's something for everybody. But since we want to have the full length of the quilting, we want at least a 12.5 inch long quilting. And you can get that by doing a couple of hoopings. You can do it however you want to do it. It will be fine. If you have a big enough hoop, I'm going to use my 9x14 hoop. And the reason is because the 1x14, you might even be able to fit it in a 8x12. I don't think so though. I'll have to look. But the 1x14 quilting design is actually 12 5/8. So a little bit more than 12 12 and a half, 12 and 5/8, and we want 12 and a half inches of quilting. So like I said, you can get that in various ways. So the 1 by 12 is 1 3/4 by 11, so it would be a little bit short. The 1 by 10 is 1 3/4 by 9 7/16, so just under 9 and a half. And on that shorter one, you could do the 10. It actually would be even a little short for that. You could do the 1 by 12 for the small, the A the A strips, or I'm probably just going to do all four the same because it's just going to run off onto the stabilizer anyway. It's not going to matter. And then I'll have the full quilting. I like to have the full quilting. Some people don't mind having where there's a little bit that doesn't have the quilting, and that's absolutely fine. Your project, your way. I like it to have quilting all the way. So I like to do the longer end of it and then just have it run off on the stabilizer for the excess. So again, a few different options. I am going to use the 1 by 14. I will probably do it for all four, but you could definitely do the 1 by 12 for the two shorter strips and then the 1 by 14 for the longer if you prefer. Either way will be totally fine. So directional fabric, cut your batting to the exact size needed. Our quilting, I want the full 12 and a half inches of quilting. And our quilting design, I don't have it right here. Sorry, let me pull it up. Sorry about that. There it is. So the quilting design for the inner borders is border orange peel 1-inch design. Border orange peel 1-inch design. That's our quilting design for the inner borders. That's really interesting. So there's been several projects that have needed a 1-inch design, and they're pretty hard to come by. And I need to remember that our quilting bundle for the Cuties has several of the 1-inch designs. So if you do like the perfectly pieced, the me time perfectly pieced, when you finish off that project, it generally doesn't include a 1-inch design, and there's several that need a 1-inch design. So we could be using this from our Cuties quilting bundle. That would be good. All right, so anyway, 1-inch design, border orange peel. That's for the inner border. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to bring you over to the computer and show you how to merge them together. It's actually super simple. So today is going to be a very easy day, and tomorrow we'll start working on the triangles. Those are always the biggest part of the Cuties projects. And then we'll get to see the bunnies start coming to life, so that'll be fun. Anyway, let's go over to the computer and see how to merge together the inner borders. Hey everyone, I'm at my computer now, and I'm just going to quickly run through how to merge the different design files together for inner borders, for the 4 inner borders. So I'm going to open up Brilliance Essentials. And what are we on? We are on an 8 by 12 hoop. Let's try that actually. I don't know if the 12 and a half would fit on here. I do want the full 12 and a half inch quilting, as I mentioned, and so I'm going to see if that will fit. I don't think it will, but let's try. So you can always see your hoop size right down here. I'm going to go to the, well, actually, I'm going to leave. If you're not on the hoop size you want, you go to this preferences folder. I'm pretty sure we'll have to change this anyway, but anyway, preferences folder, and then choose the hoop size you want and say okay. And then you can go to this compass button and hit H to zoom into the hoop. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in the first quilting design. It's asking where is the file that you want on your computer, and I have mine on Cuties right there. Cuties table topper with My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, and embroidery files and quilting bundles. So I'm going to open up the quilting bundle and the Cuties bundle embroidery files. Pez is what I use for my machine, and then we want April. I want the inner borders. Let's see. If I recall, it's set on here. The inner border orange peel 1-inch design. So right there, orange peels and circles. So it's the 4th folder down, orange peels and circles. And 1 by 10 orange peel. Oh, look at that's fun. All right, but I want to use the 12. I want to try out. I want to try out the 14. I'm going to try out the 14 because it comes out as 12 and 5/8, and so I want the full length. So I'm going to try that and see if it will fit. You can see right here it automatically turned red, so that means it does not fit. If I zoom out, you can see it's quite a bit too large for my 8x12 hoop. That's funny. So it's 13 3/4. This is the 14. I think I gave the wrong information. I thought it was 12 1/2. 1x14. So there, it's different on them. So because on the earlier ones, I must have written this down for January and it was a different size. So this one is 13 3/4. So definitely too large. It's also larger than we need. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this one, and I'm going to try out the 12 and find out what the 12 is. Let's see. Orange peels and circles. There's the 1x12. Double click on that. And that one is 1 3/4 by 11 1/8. So that's too short. That's basic. That is what I have. I have the 1x12 is 1 3/4 by 11, but the 1x14 is larger than the other one we did before. So either way, I want the 1x14. So that means I'm going to delete this 12, and I'm going to change my hoop size to a 9x14, and I'm going to click on this compass button, click H, and then I'm going to bring in the 1x14 design. Let's see, fourth folder down, orange peels, 1x14 right there. All right, and this one, like I said, is 1 3/4 by 13 3/4, so it's larger than the other one we used before. So that is a really cool design. That's really good for our this specific design because we're working on this orange peel. That's pretty fun. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do all 4. Like I mentioned, you could do the 1x12 for the first 2 that are shorter because we only need 10 inches of quilting. But if we do all the same one, it's just going to run off on the stabilizer. And the nice thing is we don't have so many different ones to make as far as changing the colors and all of that. We can just do one and copy and paste and do all of them. But you do you, however you want to do it. If you want to use the 1x12 and change those colors, it only takes a minute. Do whatever you want. I'm going to do it on this first one. So I'm going to click on this plus sign to open it, and this 1, click on the color. And the first color that comes up is dark aqua. And then for 1, 2, click on the color. The first color that comes up is blaze. 1, 3, click on the color. And we already used dark aqua, so we'll use marine. And 1, 4, click on the color. And notice it's yellow and instead of the orange. You could actually leave this. So I'm going to leave it actually because I'm going to do all of the that we want this to join anyway. So this is totally fine. So I forgot to mention, since we're taking out those first 2 steps, you actually don't need to change any of the colors because you could delete these first 2 steps. You would just click the delete button on your keyboard and you're good to go on step 1 and step 2, as long as you are adding on the batting to your border strips like I'm going to. I'm going to leave it in here just so I remember to tell everyone to bypass it for those that didn't delete it. But you could absolutely delete the first 2 and then you don't need to change any colors. Easy peasy. All right, up to you, however you want to do it. So the quilting, this 4th one, there's no other Jubilee, so I don't need to worry about that. And on the quilting design, all 4 of them are going to have the same thread color, so that doesn't need to be changed. So it's really only one of the first 2 that needs to be changed, and you don't need to do it if you're going to delete them. I hope that makes sense. All right, I am going to just move this over to the edge here, all the way over, and I'm going to do a copy, Control C to copy, and Control V like victory to paste. And you can see it made another one. It's right on top of the first one. I'm going to take it and I'm just going to haphazardly move it over. And then I'm going to do another Control V like victory to paste a 3rd one and bring that over here. And then another Control V to have the 4th one. All right, and that's why I was thinking I'm just going to do all 4 the same size. It's just easy. But you can do it however you want to do it. You know how. All right, so now I'm going to just close these these design files, and I'm going to click down from the bottom and drag up so that I have all 4 designs. And then I am going to go to Utility right here, Align and Distribute. You need to do this before you do the color sort, because otherwise it's all in one file. You want to do it when there's 4 of them. So I'm going to go to Align and Distribute, and I am going to say, I think it's center, center, and let's see what it does. Nope, we don't want center, center. Don't do that. Let's see, it must just be center. Let's try that. I'm going to say undo. Undo, there we go. All right, and then make sure we've got all 4. Utility, Align and Distribute. Oh, because it's aligned, we want to be on the Distribute tab. My mistake. Be on the Distribute tab. Sorry, I'm trying to do this too quickly. Center, center, and click Apply, and there we go. You saw them move, and all that does is it gives it a little bit of space in between them. You can see it's got the same amount of space between them. But on this 4th one, I'm going to do this one more time just because I can have this one over more. And that one, if you have the left and the right one all the way over and then do an Align and Distribute, you'll have a little bit more space between them all. So again, I'm just going to close all of these, drag and bring up to the top so that all 4 are selected, and then Utility, Align and Distribute. We're on the Distribute tab, center, center, and click Apply, and you saw that the middle 2 moved over just a bit. So then I've got a little bit more room in between each of these. So this is all good, but we have 20 color stops right now, and we can get that down to probably 5. Let's try it. So Utility, wait, gotta select them, my mistake. So drag and select so that all 4 are selected. Utility, Color Sort. Don't forget you want to have the same information here that I have, the tolerance at 0, so that you have the same results. And I'm going to click New View. It says it reduced it by 15 color changes. New View, so that I can see them all. And there's that first one with the 4 designs. The second tab has 1 design. Click on this open sign, and we've got all of the placement for the batting, the tack down for the batting, the placement for the main fabric, which are the fabric strips, the border strips, and 1-4 is our tack down of our border strips, and then 1-5 is all of the quilting designs. So that worked out super perfectly. I'm going to do a file, save, stitch file as, and let's see, what are we in right now? I'm in the embroidery files. I want to be in the quilting bundle right there. Embroidery files of the quilting. And it is the orange peel. So see, if I save this in the original folder, then later in the year, if we do orange peels again, I've already got it ready. Nice, huh? All right, so I'm going to say orange peel times 4. You could say what hoop size you're on, or you could say the 14-inch. You could say 1 by 14 times 4, 1 by 14, so that I know it's the 14-inch size, and times 4, because there's 4 different strips. That's what I've got. So that's what I'm doing. Orange peel 1 times 14 times 4. Save. Whatever will help you to remember what your design is. And then transfer it to your USB stick, or send it Wi-Fi to your machine, and we're ready to do these. It's going to be an easy day. almost forgot. My shirt today is my Cancer one, Nobody Fights Alone. And boy, did this Cristin Creates group ever prove that to be true. So many cards, so many get well wishes, so many prayers, all during my Cancer fight. So definitely, I fully believe nobody fights alone. So that's the design I got today. It was from a different website. I will add the information under this video. And I haven't done my workout yet today. My goal is strength for this one, I believe is what my goal was. But I did a workout last night, late last night, and my mom happened to call me, and so I was on the phone with her the whole time during my workout, and she was so great, like putting up with me sitting there panting up this hill. But it was a really good workout. It was in Japan. I'm finishing up this series. I think I have 7 out of 12 complete for this series, and this one was climbing up a hill, which I really enjoy because you feel like you're really getting the workout. Like, you always feel like it with the iFit trainers. Oh my goodness, you sure do. But climbing a hill is gratifying. You know that you're completing something. So my dog is drinking water. If you can hear that, excuse the sound. But anyway, great workout. I'll add some photos, and I want to hear how you're doing with your goal. Don't forget to share that with me. My dog.